What's up, everybody? Happy Easter to you. Hope you had a sick one. And I hope you're ready to talk some football in this Rabona TV Weekend Review, where we cover 5 leagues in Europe every damn episode. That's England, France, Germany, Spain, and Italy. And then we rotate in another league because here at Rabona TV, the people who work here and our subscribers, we're really worldly individuals. And if you fancy yourself a worldly individual or just a football fan, then hit that subscribe button. And speaking of worldly, let's hit up the A-League down in Australia to see what the situation is. But first, quickly, we'll be doing a couple of Champions League watch-alongs this week before I forget. On Tuesday, we'll be watching Juventus versus Real Madrid, and Wednesday, we'll be taking in Man City versus Liverpool. As always, the stream will go live about 5 minutes before kickoff, so join us at 11:40 a.m. Pacific time, 2:40 p.m. Eastern, and 7:40 GMT or England time. All right, to Oz. Last Thursday, Sydney FC beat the Perth Glory 3-2, but this was definitely a game of 2 halves, as Sydney stormed to a 3-0 lead after 40 minutes, thanks in part to a brace from Bobo. But in the second, Adam Taggart was brought on, and he had a massive impact on this match, sort of. He scored a brace, but I mean, they still lost, so did he have a massive impact? I guess it's up for debate. Now, another important match that occurred was between the Newcastle Jets and Melbourne City FC. And this one was important because Newcastle is the only team that had a hope, albeit a sliver of hope, of catching Sydney prior to this match day. But of course, with Sydney winning and Newcastle losing to Melbourne 3-0 yesterday, the race for the Premier's plate is completely over now. Now, why is this an important match then if it was ineffectual? I mean, Newcastle had nothing to play for this weekend as they are comfortably in second place. Well, this was the first match this season that Newcastle has failed to score a single goal, and their form is starting to turn for the worst going into the grand finals qualifying. Newcastle have lost their last 2 matches now, with just 2 matches remaining. It's been a bit of a dream season for them, as in the last 8 seasons, their highest finish was 7th, and last season they finished in 10th, aka bottom of the table. So be sure to keep an eye on the A-League, as hopefully, for Newcastle's sake, they can get a good run in the grand finals. And that will do it for Australia this week. Maybe I'll update you once the grand finals and stuff are all kicking off. If there's another league you guys want me to cover, then let me know. I do actually take note of what you guys say in the comment section, so don't worry. The Colombian League and the Greek leagues will be covered very soon. All right, in England, let's start with the big marquee matchup that was Spurs traveling to play against Chelsea. A match that, if Chelsea could find the win, would bring them within 2 points of a top 4 finish and could have given them a little extra shimmer on a campaign that has been a bit turbulent.
And they started well, with Alvaro Morata heading home a ball from Victor Moses in the 30th minute. That was his 11th Premier League goal this season, of which he has scored 7 with his head. That was also his first Premier League goal since December 26th, 2017, aka his first in 8 Premier League appearances. Then the tides changed violently as Christian Eriksen scored the goal of the weekend with a 25-yard smash, and a quick Dele Alli double sealed the deal to make it 3-1 Spurs. This was Dele's 100th Prem appearance, meaning he's been involved in 61 goals for Spurs in that time.
It seems as though he's having a great return to form, and it was also a return to winning at Stamford Bridge for Spurs. They hadn't won a match at the Bridge since 1990, spanning 27 matches, and this was of course their first Premier League victory at Stamford Bridge, spanning 25 matches, because the Premier League only started in 1992, as you'll remember. 1992 is the year that Mo Salah was born. What a segue, Adrian, my gosh. As he and his Liverpool teammates came from behind against Crystal Palace to grab a 2-1 away win. And this was a huge match if you're a Liverpool fan, because Mo Salah not only won the thing for you, but he is also threatening to break a few records. So check it out. In scoring his 29th of the season, which was also his 6th in his last 3 appearances and 37th across all competitions this season, he equaled Didier Drogba's record of 29 goals in a season, the most by an African player. He also scored in his 21st Premier League match, aka he has scored 29 Premier League goals across 21 different matches. That equals Cristiano Ronaldo and Robin van Persie's records, and it's looking likely that he'll break that and score on 22 different match days. I mean, he's got to score at least once more this season in the Premier League, right? And that bodes well for Liverpool as they stay within touching distance of United going into a match week against Manchester City. Speaking of the 2 Manchester clubs, Romelu Lukaku scored after just 5 minutes against Swansea to take his tally to 15 in the Prem, while Sanchez made himself useful by getting a goal and an assist as well in United's 2-0 win. Also, interestingly, in the 10 Premier League matches that Lindelof has started in, United are undefeated. City, on the other hand, went to Goodison Park and pretty much wrapped the match up in under 40 minutes. As their front three of Leroy Sané, Gabriel Jesus, and Raheem Sterling all grabbed a goal, with David Silva getting a brace of assists, and just one for De Bruyne. By the way, the top 3 assist guys in the league are De Bruyne with 15, and then Sané and David Silva with 11. So both City and Liverpool are looking good going into their big Champions League match that all of us are going to watch together on Wednesday, right? But of course, with that win, City ensure that they can clinch the Premier League title next weekend at Old Trafford, and oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. The post-match press conference from Jose Mourinho would be poppin' if that happened. He would never be able to live that down. But if they do clinch the title against United, that would mean that they clinch the title with 6 matches remaining, which would be a new record for the earliest Premier League title clinching ever. The team who did it with 5 matches remaining, of course, was Manchester United in the 2000-2001 season. And of course, City are extremely capable of wrapping up the title next weekend. However, Mourinho would rather park the bus or the private Manchester United jet in front of their goal and play for a draw than to let his rival Pep win a title on his home ground. It's going to be an unmissable match. Saturday morning at 9:30 a.m. my time, and hey, why don't we do a watch-along? I've been wanting to do a Premier League watch-along for a long time now, so this seems as good a match as any. And by the way, just a reminder, I don't actually show the footage of the match. This is just supplementary content, so you can watch along with me and a bunch of other subscribers, get the banter going in the comment section, live analysis, have your opinion, and eat it too. Oh, and Arsenal also won, despite not playing that great at home to Stoke. They were awarded 2 penalties, one scored by Aubameyang and one by Laka, and they came out on top 3-0. Oba scored a brace, taking his Premier League goals total to 5 in his first 6 appearances, the most scored by any Arsenal player in that time frame. In that short amount of time, I should say. Moving on from the Prem though, and into the Bundesliga, where I'm so sorry, Dortmund fans.
You can look away now if you want. Okay, good? Good. Because Dortmund wasn't, at all on this occasion, in front of 75,000 fans at the Allianz Arena. And with a 6-0 final score, the hurt hit hard, and early, with Robert Lewandowski finishing after 5 minutes, Rodriguez after 14, Muller after 23, and at the half, Lewandowski made it 4-0 and Frank Ribery added a 5th, just for good measure. 5 of Michy Batshuayi's 13 touches in the first half were from the kickoff spot. Dortmund hadn't conceded 5 goals in the first half of a Bundesliga match since 1978.
In the second, the play evened out a little bit, or at least Dortmund didn't concede for a while, and in the 87th minute, Robert Lewandowski rounded out his hat-trick, taking him to 26 in the Bundesliga. That's twice as many as the second-place top scorer, who is still Aubameyang. Elsewhere, Schalke put in a good shift at home to beat Freiburg 2-0 as Schalke hang on to second, while RB Leipzig beat the tricky Hannover 96 away 3-2. Hoffenheim also stretched their unbeaten run to 5 matches now as they slapped up FC Köln 6-0. And in France, the Coupe de la Ligue final went down between PSG and Monaco, which was the 5th time that these two teams have met in a cup final. And Paris didn't take too long to impose themselves on the match after Mbappe was brought down in the box and Edinson Cavani scored an 8th minute penalty. Then, on 21 minutes, Kylian Mbappe played an inch-perfect ball to Angel Di Maria to make it 2-0. Mbappe wasn't finished with his former team though, and in the 85th, he played the ball off for Cavani to hit home, putting Cavani 3rd in all-time Coupe de la Ligue scoring with 13 goals. So, anyways, that Coupe de la Ligue triumph from PSG means they have won 5 consecutive Coupe de la Ligue titles. En la Ligue, Marseille arrache la victoire et remet la pression sur Lyon en la table, mais Rami et Mandanda sont blessés. Il y a beaucoup de I don't know what I'm saying. There's a lot of trouble at Marseille right now with all the injuries that they have going up against RB Leipzig in the Europa League. But enough of that French stuff. I haven't spoken French in long enough, so I'm pretty trash at it now. But elsewhere in France, the aforementioned Lyon did manage to get a win at home against Toulouse to move within 2 points of Marseille, while Nice, Rennes, and Montpellier all won. Those teams sit 7th, 6th, and 5th, respectively, all on 45 points as they look to, well, they probably won't catch Lyon, who are 15 points ahead of them in 4th. But hey, that race for 5th, man. As the saying goes, the May rains fall heavy in Spain's. And FC Barcelona almost fell victim to Sevilla as they found themselves 2-0 down after 50 minutes with their talisman, still on the bench. But no matter, as Barcelona have won more points from a losing position than any other team in La Liga. And after Messi entered the fold in the 57th minute, things very slowly began to swing in Barca's favor. And I say very slowly because Barca didn't find a goal until the 87th minute, when Luis Suarez scored his 22nd La Liga goal of the season to make it 2-1 Sevilla, and make for a very exciting finish. Of course, Messi wasn't ready to let his team's unbeaten run end, so he just did this. Easy, right? So Barcelona are still unbeaten this season after 30 matches and retained their 9-point lead over Atletico Madrid.
Atletico, by the way, had yet another 1-0 win, this time over Deportivo La Coruña. That was Jan Oblak's 150th appearance for Atletico. Across the century and a half of matches, he has had an astounding 86 clean sheets, conceded only 90 goals, and made 390 saves.
Real Madrid, on the other hand, cruised to a 3-0 win against Las Palmas without arrested Cristiano Ronaldo. But in his 400th appearance for Real Madrid, Benzema marked the occasion by putting away a penalty in the 39th minute. Prior to that, Gareth Bale blitzed past the Las Palmas defense to score and finished off his brace late in the match with a penalty himself. Rodrigo Moreno of Valencia capped off a great week for himself, scoring the winning goal against Leganés to keep Valencia within a point of Real Madrid. Real, by the way, have made up a great ground on second place Atletico, who are now just 4 points ahead of them. Also, bottom of the table Malaga got a win against Villarreal, which means Malaga snapped their 14-match winless run. Congrats to them, but damn, have they ever fallen from grace, no? You guys remember when they played Borussia Dortmund in the 2012-2013 Champions League quarterfinals? That was a sick match, man. The second leg, of course, was a sick match. When Lewandowski really showed the world how sick he is. Stop saying sick. Anyways, in Italy, with it being Easter and all, we had a mock final match day of the season pretty much, with every single team playing on Saturday. Juve took a big stride towards yet another Scudetto, as not only did Sassuolo hold Napoli to a 1-1 draw, but Juventus beat AC Milan quite handily with a 3-1 victory. Dybala put in a man of the match performance, scoring one and assisting another. In fact, Sami Khedira did the exact same, as he scored once and set up Juan Cuadrado for Juve's second. Before Bonucci scored for Milan against Juve, Juve hadn't conceded for 959 minutes in the Serie A, which is the second longest streak without conceding. The longest, of course, held by Juve from 2016. Just going back to Napoli though, they have only won one of their last 4 Serie A matches, which is sad to see. I thought they were going to, for sure, break up the monotony in the Serie A, but hey, Juve are probably deserving leaders. Roma drew with Bologna. Lazio were the biggest winners on the weekend as they stomped Benevento 6-2, and Inter got a 3-0 win over Hellas Verona. Icardi showed once again that he is one of the best finishers in the game, as he scored his 23rd and 24th goals of the season, both of which were assisted by Ivan Perisic. That rhymed. Perisic scored one himself as well, as he dominated this match. So, Inter have turned things around a bit after a really rough patch for them, as they sit in 4th at the moment, a point behind Roma and a point ahead of their rivals Lazio. Okay, that's all from me on an Easter Monday, because I've got to get to work on the MLS show now. My name is Adrian. Thank you so much for watching once again. Be sure to join me for the watch along tomorrow at 11:40 a.m. Pacific, 2:40 p.m. Eastern, and 7:40 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. Or join me later today for some MLS action to talk about Zlatan's crazy entrance into the league. All right, peace guys. Love ya.